I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
In a wondrous, enchanted place,
Hello?
a young man crosses the threshold between all he knows and all he can possibly imagine. Now,
I'm a cartoon.
an ordinary boy will scale the heights of adventure and come back a hero.
You're the greatest.
Yes.
Macaulay Culkin, Christopher Lloyd, The Pagemaster, rated G. Starts Wednesday, November 23rd at theaters everywhere.
This is Matt once again. We're about to another review, and this is one of two requests for grade B. Thank you so much for that. For those who want to request pretty much any type of video, review, re-review, reaction, topic, what have you, you'd request it by sending directly to my PayPal or joining my Patreon. Both links are down below. If not, no worries, but if so, thank you so much. But this time it's The Pagemaster, which, you know what, I realize I've never fully seen this film. I've heard about it, and watching it wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. It stars Macaulay Culkin, who I like as an actor. I liked a lot of his films. I liked Home Alone 1 and 2. I reviewed The Good Son. I enjoyed that. He has a big part in Jacob's Ladder, which is one of my favorites from 1990. Uncle Buck, he was good in that. Richie Rich, I believe I reviewed, and that wasn't too shabby of a flick. Now, apparently this film took like 3 years to make, which is a bit weird because this movie is very short. Like, this movie has, I would bet a bunch of shit was cut out of this. Because if you took away the end credits, the movie's an hour and 8 minutes. An hour and 8 minutes long. I mean, with the credits are like 7 minutes long, so it's like an hour and 15 minutes with credits. So that's what I mean. I bet a lot of stuff was cut out. I don't know all the deal. One rumor is that apparently the film was rewritten in the middle of making it. I don't know if that's true or not. Another rumor is that Macaulay Culkin was a diva on set. I don't know if that's true or not. The live action segments, which there aren't too many, I guess that portion was Joe Johnston, the guy who did The Rocketeer. And yeah, there's not a lot of that live action stuff. It's mainly Macaulay Culkin, low tier with glasses, who's afraid of everything. Ed Begley Jr. from films like Transylvania 65000. He's his dad, wanting him to have a little bit more courage. Built him a tree house. The kid's too afraid of heights to go up there. So he rides his bike through the rain. It's raining hard. So he goes to his library, and there's Christopher Lloyd, who gives him a library card. He's like, well, I'm not here to rent books. I'm here to just get out of the rain. Oh, okay. He leaves, and like 10 seconds later, Macaulay Culkin slips and falls on the floor. And then I did like this idea where color starts melting, and this like serpent slash tidal wave of color envelopes, covers the library and him, and then he's in animation. And pretty much he's in this library, this chasm of library books up to the stratosphere, as long as the eye can see, and he meets these three books that would be his friends: adventure, fantasy, and horror. The adventure book is voiced by Patrick Stewart. The fantasy book is voiced by Whoopi Goldberg. And I forget who voiced the horror book, but the horror book, he's actually very friendly, a bit of Quasimodo, because a lot of times he'll yell "Sanctuary, Sanctuary" when he's trying to get to someplace. But he's also very friendly, disfigured, but seemed like a bit dumb as well. And pretty much the three of them are called Culkin. They go from one place to another. They go through... When these books get open, the squid comes out from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. They go in the horror section, and they find Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And it's voiced by Leonard Nimoy, which I thought was cool. So one thing I would say I like is the cast. This has a really good cast. I mean, the people I mentioned: Macaulay Culkin, Christopher Lloyd, which I thought he would be in a lot more, honestly. Whoopi Goldberg, Patrick Stewart, Leonard Nimoy. And I thought it was cool that Leonard Nimoy voiced Jekyll and Hyde. Sadly, it's not too long, and I thought his transformation was one of the better parts of the animation in this, because the use of shadows and lighting, and when he drinks it, the way the color scheme changes, and this green light, and for a brief spec you see his bones very quickly, and then he's changing into Mr. Hyde. Like I said, I would say that's one of my favorite bits of animation in the film. And the movie goes, it's such a short film, and it goes by a fast pace that there's really nothing that made me that mad or angry about it. They go through, Captain Ahab chase him on the water, and there's the big whale Moby Dick that almost eaten by them. Then Long John Silver's on the and the pirates, they go on an island, and the whole gist of the story is Macaulay Culkin gaining more and more courage. So at this point he takes a sword and drives him back, or... So you get a little bit of the horror section, then you get more of the adventure section, and then you get a little bit of the fantasy section, because you have one of the books, horror, he's tied up by these little people, like Gulliver's Travels. You see literal lightning bugs. Like, imagine a little lightning bolt, but as big as a bug, and it has wings on it. Which I thought was cool. I'm like, okay, it's a literal lightning bug. Okay. And then you got dragons. He's swallowed by a dragon. He opens a book. It's Jack and the Beanstalk. This is the second film I've seen in the past couple months where a giant beanstalk gets in the middle of a creature and juts out of its mouth. The other one being Jack the Giant Killer. Although I like this film more. Does this film... Like I said, the animation looked good. Sometimes the lips on Macaulay Culkin looked a bit weird. I don't know how to put it. They looked a bit just weird, fucked up. I don't know if it's the color scheme on the lips or the way they were presented on the animated form of Macaulay Culkin's character. I don't know, just... Macaulay Culkin did fine on the voice. Patrick Stewart, he's having fun being this adventure pirate type of character as a book. Whoopi Goldberg, I like. The horror, the Quasimodo type of book. Tell that character had a good heart to him. I mean, that's the thing is... I guess at the time, when you think about it, you go pay your price to see a film, and then it's like an hour long. Maybe people would feel ripped off by that. I mean, I saw this for free, so I didn't feel ripped off or anything, but I do wonder if other people be like, what if they paid I don't know how much they paid back in the day. They go see with their kids, and then after an hour, wait, the movie's over? What the fuck? What is this shit? So I don't know, did people feel ripped off? I mean, was the film anything remarkable? No. Was it anything fantastic? No. It was almost like a little excursion where he's in his library, there's a couple things happen based on books, based on old school classical stories. They get to the exit, he's back in the real world, he's got courage now, he actually does sleep in his treehouse, he checks out those 3 books. I guess those 3 books really are real because, or maybe it's part of his imagination, I don't know. Macaulay Culkin's sleeping and you see the 3 books talking amidst shadows. So, whether you're to assume it's Macaulay Culkin dreaming that, or these books are actually alive and there's some reality to this fanciful stuff, well, I guess that's up to the viewer. I mean, I wouldn't say the music was... I can't remember the fucking music. And there's a little montage that has a musical number. It wasn't bad, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. It's one of those films I watch and I go, okay, the animation is fine. I like a lot of the color schemes used. It's a very colorful movie. It has a good cast. Christopher Lloyd, I wish he was in it more. He's in it for a little bit. You could easily shoot his live action stuff in one day. He has like 5-7 lines he says with Macaulay Culkin, both before he slips and after he wakes up. And then in animated form, he appears twice as the master, the whatever the hell. But I mean, you know what? It didn't overstay its welcome. I'll say that. Like I said, it's a very fast-paced movie. It's fairly short film. Does not take much of your time at all. It's a film that I don't really have a lot of issues with it because in a weird way there's not much to talk about. And people who say that's a bad thing, maybe in this case is a good thing. I'm trying to see if there's any trivia on it. I don't know why this took 3 years to make. I mean, if this took 3 years, then... I don't know, did Macaulay start this in, what, 90, 91? Because Rich came out the same year, and he definitely looks a lot younger here than he does in Richie Rich. So... could definitely say that. Oh, Frank Welker, he voiced the Book of Horror. Frank Welker, that's a voice actor that's been in a ton of stuff. I mean, he voiced Fred Jones on all the Scooby-Doo stuff from back then to today. Phil Hartman voiced Tom Morgan, one of the pirates. Didn't even realize that was Phil Hartman. According to the film's animation crew, the film went over budget during animation production due to mismanagement and changes to the narrative. The 2001 book producing animation recommends against making story changes during the animation process. Joe Johnston would later express his dissatisfaction, claiming that the film was re-edited without his consent. He has since crossed the Pagemaster off his resume. Well, okay, so what was the original story? What was the original idea? What was the original plan of the film? What happened? Oh, it's a YouTube link to a video that's no longer there. apparently Joe Johnston was interviewed about it, and the video's no longer there. Great. Thank you, YouTube. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see what... Someone do a full talk about what happened. What was the original story? It says it was rerun in the middle. Well, what was the original... Obviously, if this was re-edited and changes, that kind of probably makes sense why the film is so short. Because this type of film would never be an hour and 8 minutes. As in, that was the planned thought process. There's got to be something more to this. Obviously, there is. So, God, I know this is stupid, but that I'm one of those people that's like, ah, man, I want to know. Who cares? I don't know. I'm just really fascinated with that kind of behind-the-scenes trouble on pictures like this. I guess I'm just too curious of a guy. If anyone has information on what the original idea behind this film was, feel free to let me know. Like, what was the original story, and how was it mismanaged and re-edited? Well, I wonder if anything on... let me look up the Pagemaster Trivia. Let's see if that says anything. Granted, just because it's IMDb doesn't automatically mean it's fucking true, but maybe it can lead to something that is true. Ah, there were sneak peeks, trailers, and TV spots where you would see the Frankenstein Monster, but it was not in the final cut. Huh. Let's see. Nope, it just, for trivia, like, did you know that Frank Welker and Leonard Nimoy both appeared in Transformers Dark of the Moon? I don't give a fuck. There are 2 video game adaptations of this movie. Didn't play the games. Nope, never mind. I thought maybe don't have much of shit there. So the Pagemaster, for what it is, not a bad film. Fun film. Like I said, you tell some stuff, a lot of stuff is missing. I think more stuff added would benefit, because it would make it a much more grander adventure, much more grander experience, with the more stuff this kid would have gone through. It is rather short for a film, but yeah, other than that, I don't really know what else to say. It's pretty straightforward flick. Animation looked decent to me. Yeah, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.